covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Busted Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
Good evening, Nation's Corner family, friends and fans. John in South Jersey here, joined by my usual cast of unusual characters. First and foremost, my tag team partner. We are the hottest intergender wrestling tag team going today. We are the three-piece in the biscuit, otherwise known as two breasts, one leg. She is the two breast part. She is the all-powerful Debhausen. What's up, Deb?
That is the best intro I've ever had.
What I do.
I totally forgot about that until you just said that.
Great intros and carrot cakes. That's what I do. And as usual, now you'll all become used to me and Deb being here every Saturday. But we have a third. We are a trio tonight, making his return yet again. He is the world's greatest truck driver. We know that. But he is also my brother, the one, the only, Tony Justice. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Been busy as hell, but finally things get back to normal, as they say. So great to be back with you tonight. Yes.
Very cool, very cool. And of course, we are all the way live, L-I-V-E, that's live. And for those that may or may not want to participate or just want to come in and make a quick hit and leave, I have three letters for you. GFY. No, I mean, go find yourself. And when you do, go fuck yourself. We're doing this live. We're now in front of God and everybody. So let's get into it. Another amazing week of wrestling in the books. Deb is teasing us all with her unusually large glass of wine. And that's her magic trick. She slowly makes that wine glass disappear, or the wine in it disappear during the whole show. It's really it's an ongoing trick. It starts small in the beginning and then progresses through, but I digress. Another great week of wrestling. We have things going on actually tonight. GCW has yet another show. Are you stretching or are you like showing that off?
I was showing it off because someone in the chat says, "What are the wrestling shirts you were wearing tonight?" I'm not wearing a wrestling shirt, but you know, I'm wearing the Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning shirt. And I know you were showing off a shirt earlier to us.
I was, and I'm going to screw up my whole camera the rest of the show right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. This young lady I was able to talk to today, Bell to Bell, which is a local old women's promotion here in Paulsboro. They run out of the Monster Factory. Had their show earlier today, and there was a particular young lady on the show that I've been very interested lately, and she absolutely is going to be a big deal sooner rather than later. Her name is Lena Cross, Kross. She is just what the world needs, another big, strong, jacked Aussie chick. Because we don't have enough of them now in wrestling. But very similar to other big, tall, strong, jacked Aussie girls we know in wrestling. And she has now actually made the move and relocated to Jersey City. I wasn't her travel agent or realtor, so I couldn't advise her otherwise. But she is now in the United States and is going to be working here a lot in the Northeast. And if you have a chance to see her live or any of her streaming matches or anything like that, definitely check her out. This girl is going to be one to watch, and you're going to be seeing her on your TV sooner rather than later.
Awesome.
Nice.
My shirt tonight, I'm not wearing a wrestling shirt, and I'm not going to mess up my camera angle, so I will...
Yeah, talk, Deb, while I do this.
I will move up a little bit without trying to be too X-rated. This is a shirt that I'm wearing.
Cool. All right. Yes, you are a free spirit, Deb. That we all know.
I have other shirts other than wrestling shirts. It's true.
Say it ain't so.
It's damn true.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, all right, we have GCW basically on now against us. We got that talk with Lauderdale about putting these shows up against us. That's really not fair.
I know. You know, the counter
there's a lot of
programming is getting ridiculous.
Hey, you know, I mean, they all listen. We have well established the fact that they all listen. But
yeah,
you know, enough's enough. And then, of course, the other big event is tomorrow night, TNA Slammiversary, their absolutely biggest pay-per-view ever in the history of the company. And we're going to get into that later on in the show and give our predictions and comment on that. And that's, you know, it's we always talk about how this is such a great time and age that we're in with especially with wrestling and across all companies, promotions, and platforms. And here again, you know, all right, we're coming off of an amazing weekend last weekend with AEW, WWE. And here we are now, you know, GCW doing their thing as they always do, gearing up for bigger stuff that they have on the horizon. TNA with their biggest pay-per-view of the year and now their biggest pay-per-view ever. So it's such a fantastic time, really, to be a wrestling fan. Tony, now you admittedly, because your life gets in the way of your wrestling, you haven't maybe seen as much as you would like to or have been able to, but being kind of the outsider looking in, what is really grabbing your attention right now?
Well, throughout the whole wrestling spectrum right now, I would say, you know, the stuff AEW is doing, you know, getting back up in the saddle from, you know, coming off of All In. I got to see that with y'all last weekend. I enjoyed it. I'm planning on watching TNA with y'all tomorrow night, and seeing all the hype for it. And I've not only missed the, you know, wrestling on TV, I've also missed a lot of Busted Open too. Because you know, y'all both know I was live tweeting throughout the show every day, as it was happening, and now that Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 is hot and heavy right now, it's on all the time. So no matter what, you know, I can always go back and listen or turn on my radio at that time and hear, you know, a replay of something. But you know, I did watch SmackDown last night, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. SummerSlam, gearing up for a good show. So yeah, I've missed a lot of wrestling, you know, here lately, but you know, slowly getting back, catching up with everything else. So yeah, those are the things that are on my horizon right now.
Very cool. All right, Deb, same question.
Definitely AEW. I think since the beginning of this year, I think AEW has really been on this trajectory where like they're getting fans back. I think like fan morale is super high right now as far as like being happy with the way that things are going, being happy with the storylines, being into things and excited about it. All In was like their biggest show that they've ever done in the United States. And I think it was an absolute success as far as like putting on a big successful show and just kind of making that statement of like, this is where we're at right now. And, you know, we've come a long way. I think a lot of people counted them out. Well, they ain't down. Like they're coming back.
Yeah.
And they're coming back strong.
And
equally. So, yeah, AEW is fully where my focus is right now. Like I don't want to miss any of their shows. WWE, I watch Raw and I just kind of hear what they talk about on Busted Open and catch up and see clips on social media. And that's about it. With WWE right now, I think there's a few things that are like, oh, I want to see that segment and see what happened. And then there's a bunch of things where I'm like, my interest is meh. But yeah,
Makes
I
you
think
sound like a lamb.
and TNA,
Wow.
I still watch TNA every week. I think since and we'll get into this as we run through the card for Slammiversary and everything, but since the partnership with NXT, a lot of things have changed in TNA. And so it's been an adjustment to kind of like very different roster, very different format of the show. So it's been an adjustment. But yeah, right now AEW has like my absolute full focus, and I'm more excited for every GCW show. Like I'm more excited to watch GCW on a practically weekly basis than anything other than AEW.
You're welcome.
And in fact, I bought my tickets last night, and I will be going to GCW on Friday, the night before SummerSlam.
Let's clarify that for a second.
Yes, please.
You're going to see Bear Bronson.
Yes.
There just happens to be a whole other GCW card going on.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're going full disclosure, you're going to see Bear Bronson.
As soon as it was announced that he was going to be fighting Mance Warner, I was like, oh my God, like this is a show that I actually have the possibility to be able to go to because it's not that far away. I was already planning on being in Rutherford, New Jersey for the Busted Open party anyway. So as soon as that was announced, I was like, oh man, I have to go to this show. And Busted Open announced where their party is taking place and when. So I'm happy that it's not at the same time and I can go. But
and
yes, I want to see Bear, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so much fun.
There's been a photo and a graphic going around as of late, because speaking of Bear Bronson, he just recently came out and stepped to the GCW Ultraviolent champion, one fucking bulldozer Matt Tremont. And that was a very interesting face-to-face. And everybody, myself included, were like, oh yeah, that has to happen. That needs to happen soon. Let's get Bear.
Seth is just making up stuff. That's not true.
No, he wouldn't do anything like that. No. I know he's telling the truth. True. Yeah, it is.
I'm sure a little. I mean, it's probably not bad, but maybe a little corner, like out of the corner of the mouth.
Right there.
But again, going back to AEW real quick, just to kind of rewind the
take a drink, Deb. Take a drink.
Yeah. Take a big drink. AEW did something this past Wednesday that, while they have always put on, and we all agree, they have always put on fantastic pay-per-views, the follow-up and the fallout and where they're going to go haven't always been best. That Dynamite that comes on after a big pay-per-view show, we're still kind of like, okay, not this past week. When you open up the show with your new AEW champion, Hangman Adam Page, wearing the belt that we haven't seen up until Sunday night for 9 months, and cut the promo he cut and all that. And, again, if you need convincing or even more convincing that AEW is really tightening the screws and getting their act together when it comes to certain things, there you go. Rewatch that opening segment of Dynamite from this past Wednesday. And they're really the whole show was really kind of a fallout, and where are we headed now? And they addressed a lot of things that going forward, that they're keeping that momentum that they got from, especially from
a lot of storyline elements. I think for probably the first time that I can remember in a long time in a Dynamite, there was more storyline elements in like promos and like segments that weren't matches that were like important to the show than the actual matches. Like normally when we talk about AEW, it's the matches themselves are so great and they tend to do their storytelling through the matches. But like this week's Dynamite, we had a lot of storyline elements that weren't in the matches. They were promos and other things. And I that was different. And I think that definitely speaks to your point about how they are very much improving on keeping those storylines going and the follow-up.
And one other thing I'll add, please, Tony Khan, please, I'm praying to you right now, sir. As you can see, I'm praying to you. Please keep the former EVPs on this run that they are right now. They just put a tweet out earlier today that the company cards were declined.
Yes.
This fall from grace for the Young Bucks from being regular people.
Like, for those of us that don't know, like we do watch-alongs on Zoom while we're watching shows, and our very good friend Steve was on with us, and he was brainstorming all these hilarious ideas of stuff that they could do now that the Young Bucks are no longer EVPs. And it's almost like they were literally listening to our conversation on Zoom.
They listened to us.
It's like happening exactly like that. It's so funny.
Yes, it is. And it's absolutely hysterical. And I hope they run with it for a long time.
Yeah.
Deb, I need that link, by the way, that Zoom link. I need it. So
you need the link? You don't know where to
whenever
find
y'all whenever y'all do another one, let me know. Yeah.
Yo, hey, you get to be on the show, but you got to ease into these other perks and benefits. All right.
Yeah. My company card will never get declined. Just saying.
No.
You have a company card?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. We also finally have got a pretty good idea of what we're going to be seeing come 2 weeks from now in MetLife Stadium for SummerSlam. WWE absolutely ramped up this week and getting cards and matches announced for both night 1 and night 2. No, we don't know the specific order, but there's enough there to realize that we can fantasy book who's going to be where on what on night 1. And more importantly, we have a main event for night 2, which we knew was going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. And we had the contract signing last night on SmackDown. With that, I thought was a very interesting step, but I'll go to you guys first. What did you think of the segment, Tony?
Well, number one, I thought it was very, very weird. I've been noticing here lately, something about Cody. And it didn't just happen last night. It's been happening the past few times that we've been seeing him on TV. And apparent to his tweets he's been tweeting out, which he made reference to last night. He's been saying some vague things on Twitter. And when he comes out, whether it be a backstage segment or in the ring, he has this kind of a look to his face that he's had here recently. Like it's something, and it could be something that I'm just overthinking, but he has this little snarl look on his face as if a heel would have on his face at times. And when John came out, and I could, and before that, when Cody was in the ring talking about Cena, he was basically referring to Cena and saying babyface things about Cena. And the crowd was cheering whenever he would say those things. And then when Cena comes out, of course, Cena's doing his normal, what he's been doing ever since he's been a heel, but he was kind of downtrodden a little bit. He was kind of low energy, if you will. And then when he gets in the ring and he just starts talking about stuff like a mental health kind of things, referring to emotional stress or whatever he was talking about, saying he wouldn't be at SummerSlam, blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to get the crowd to, well, wait, let me get this out. And, kind of just being as if he was trying to be a little serious, And the whole time he was talking, Cody was sitting there and he was just not having it. He was just, looking to Adam Pearce going, is this for real? Blah, blah, blah. And then Cody was the aggressor last night. Cena just got out of the ring and started walking to the back. And Cody was the aggressor. Cody was the one that brought him back to the ring. Cody was the one that put him through the table and had basically forcing Cena to sign the contract. And when they went off the air, Cody had that apparent snarl to his face. So Cody was doing all these heel tactics towards Cena last night, and John Cena is supposed to be the heel. And so I feel like I've been seeing on Twitter, Bully said something about a double turn in his tweet earlier today. And I don't know what he was referring to, because like I said, I've missed some Busted Open episodes. But what I am seeing is maybe we get a double turn at SummerSlam. Because after SmackDown went off the air, I saw some footage of Cena going back up the ramp. And remember, Deb, the other day I told you this was at after footage too, where Cena got out of the ring and he was kind of he was like having second thoughts. Same thing last night. He did the same thing. He was walking up to the ramp and he was just kind of like looking at the crowd, and he was just you could tell he was having second thoughts. And the clip that I saw had the caption, "Are you having second thoughts about turning heel?"
Right.
And I'm wondering if we get a double turn at SummerSlam. I could be way off base, but that's where I'm thinking right now.
No, I think you're definitely right, because I think that it seems to be the obvious way that this is going, that Cody's going heel, Cena's going back to babyface. And I don't know. I just think that like this whole Cena heel turn just really hasn't like panned out well. I think it was almost destined to not go well, just because Cena is so loved, and this is his final run. So obviously, every city that he shows up at, the crowd's gonna pop massively when his music hits. And I think the first couple weeks after the initial heel turn was interesting as far as the promos he was doing, but it's almost like they kind of gave up on going that direction. And it's almost like they kind of realized, well, the fans don't really want to treat him like an actual heel because he's so loved, so we might as well just not do that anymore. I don't know, because he's clearly like you said, he's clearly a good guy. Like, we've seen so many things in his actions and his behavior that is pointing to the fact that he is the John Cena babyface. Like, he's not actually hated. Like, nobody hates this guy. In fact, I feel like it kind of backfired in a weird way, just because in the Super Cena days, as everybody likes to say, there was a large population that hated him back then because he was the baby face that was being quote, shoved down our throats. And I feel like it's turned where all those people that used to boo him are now like, oh, this is his retirement. This is his last run. Like, we appreciate him for, now that he's a legend, and now that he's a veteran. And, I don't really think there's anybody that actually dislikes him. I don't know. I'm not feeling the whole thing. I think we've always wanted to see Cody turn heel, and like Homelander Cody, and like we know that he has that in him. We know that he turns into that Homelander figure, it's going to be freaking awesome. But I feel like this is almost like just a lame way to get there. I don't know.
It absolutely is. It seems like that, but again, I have complete confidence that they're going to do something at some point that's going to make us all go, "Oh my God, this is great." So I'm willing to let it play out just to see. And my only other comment is Cody's dye job is starting to show black streaks, and every once in a while he flirts with not shaving them. He'll shave, but leave the shadow of the mustache. So
take good eye, John. I didn't even notice that.
Take that as you will, but and right now it obviously, and here's the other thing. Raw Monday night, we had the return in person of Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And that itself should have been the headline for the week for WWE. And up until Friday night, it was. I mean, the Goldberg stuff aside, that I'm not even going to go into that. That
we don't need to talk about that.
No,
we don't. I said my piece on Twitter this week. If you want to hear my thoughts of that, go to my Twitter.
Yeah, and if not, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
But that should have been the biggest story, was the return of Roman Reigns, like physically, not a promo, not it was OTC back in the ring. New t-shirt on shopwwe.com, the whole thing. But it wasn't up until Friday night, because now they have absolutely brought Cody and Cena back to the forefront of that. And that's really kind of a hard task. And whether you like it or don't like it, everybody seems to be talking about it. And I guess we are 2 weeks away from SummerSlam, this is your night 2 main event. It's probably how it should be, and it's going to be, regardless of what other stories, because there are plenty of other stories outside of this that absolutely deserve headlines and discussion, but we're just not getting that, at least up until we get through SummerSlam. So,
yeah. So one thing I wanted to mention, as I was kind of catching up on some things, for me in WWE, it's kind of weird because I feel like there's this strange dichotomy. Like, some of the stuff is interesting to me and I'm really loving, like Naomi, like put Naomi on every freaking segment on every freaking show. Like, I don't care. She's that
raggedy ass bitches.
Like, and so there's some stuff that's hitting for me, and then there's some stuff that's really missing for me. I feel like there's this weird dichotomy right now where some characters and storylines feel very real and natural, like Naomi. Like, I can believe that that's legit how she talks and how she is. Like, I can believe that. Yeah, when she said, "I don't know what you just said," like that, incredible. And then there's some stuff where I feel like it's very contrived, like very like TV writer. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just not coming off very naturally to me. It's coming off like way too obviously acted. Whereas the stuff with Naomi and even like Braun Breaker and like, a few other things where it feels more natural. It feels like this, it doesn't feel like we're watching someone act. Whereas I think for whatever reason, that Cody and Cena segment felt like we were watching someone act. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. But isn't that kind of the idea? That you have a variety of different things, some things and it's just natural. Some things you're gonna like,
different strokes for different folks. I get it. And I understand your point of view on it. I'm like I said, I'm still the optimist, saying that they're going to come to a point. They're going to have a moment or something that we all go, okay, now I'm right back in. Right.
I think
maybe Roman's it, because I think like not having Roman there was a big missing puzzle piece for me personally.
Yeah.
I think without Roman, there's like a void in the whole show, and I can't describe why. But maybe like as soon as I popped when he came out, I was just kind of sitting there just casually watching the show, and then Roman's music hits. I was like, oh shit, yes, Roman, thank you God.
Yes, but again, and that's like I said, that should have been, to me, that should have been the headline for WWE for the week. And I get it. you're trying to build and have buzz and hype around SummerSlam. But
yeah,
and the only thing that now that we have physically seen Roman, now we can absolutely, because if you just look at even the bloodline stuff that's going on right now, that's going to be very interesting post SummerSlam.
mm-hmm.
And that is, where does he fit in to all this? Is going to be very interesting. And somebody needs to check out Paul Heyman, because when Roman Reigns showed up Monday night, I swear that man soiled that very expensive Italian suit he was wearing.
Yeah, 3 things I have. Number 1, Deb, you're talking about a void. Well, my void is Paul Heyman not by Roman's side. That's a void in my opinion. I feel like we should get Paul Heyman back with Roman. I'm sorry, this whole Seth Rollins stuff, whatever it's called, is
Seth Rollins is out. Seth Rollins is out now. And so Braun Breaker, I honestly I was very, very pleased with the segment from Raw with Braun Breaker kind of taking the spotlight. Like I was hyped for that.
Yeah, I'm mad at that.
Like that, and we've known that guy is special, and he's the next he's the next big thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get what you're saying about Paul Heyman like not being with Roman, and maybe they'll figure out a way to kind of weave that in. With Seth being hurt, I'm sure that they had to kind of go a different direction than what they were planning.
Right.
We'll see how it goes.
Number 2, and I failed to mention this earlier. Go back and watch the Cody and Cena promo from last night, the Cody and Cena segment. When Cody came out, immediately he went to the contract and signed it before he started talking. When he signed the contract, I heard groans in the crowd. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but I did hear groans. Cody is one of the most, if not the most, babyface performer in the WWE. And when he comes out and everybody sings his entrance, and he's all about the kids and giving the weight belt out and stuff like that. So when he signed that contract, it should have been a huge pop, but it wasn't. And I don't know if it was just where they were at. They were in San Antonio last night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they expected something different to happen before he actually went to sign it.
Yeah, I don't know. Number 3. Yeah, who's to say? Number 3, and my final point. I'm kind of expecting to see someone huge at SummerSlam when it pertains to this story, and I'm thinking The Rock might make an appearance at SummerSlam. If this goes down, this double turn goes down, The Rock's got to be part of it.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that on Zoom last night. And I kind of feel like they have to deliver on The Rock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I kind of feel like they have to.
It's been kind of a low rumble ever since The Rock appeared last time. That when and how is he going to be involved, and even all the subsequent the tweets and Instagram posts and everything post since, and we haven't really seen him at all. They kind of. I'm really kind of torn on this. On one hand, absolutely, they need, if they're going to put this thought into everybody's head about what's The Rock going to do, is he going to show up? They have to deliver. But on the other hand, I'm not really like feeling The Rock on this. Like, I don't need him to make an appearance in this to keep me interested, or I don't need him to add to the story that they're telling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And if it's one of the things, if he shows up, it's going to be like, okay, yes, they delivered, paid it off. Everybody's going to react however they want to. But on the other hand, like I said, I'm very torn, because I'm like, I don't know if I need or want The Rock in on this.
I honestly completely agree with you on that. Because I said it after Mania, like after Mania kind of went the way it did, I was like, I'd rather they've gone this long without having him involved in the story, and after he said what he said about feeling like he didn't need to be involved, I'm kind of like, okay, fine. Like, don't then. But then on the other hand, like if they do completely drop it, then I almost feel like there's some storyline that was just kind of almost a waste of time.
Oh, cheerio! From across the pond.
He is across the pond right now, and he just went to he went to the Manowar concert over there. So cheers, bro, or mate, or whatever they say over there. And I saw the video of you with the boys out there, all the people that were there at that concert, man. That was a powerful, to me, that was powerful, man. That was awesome, dude. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Tell them Miami bastards who won the war. You'll be speaking German, it wasn't for us.
I have a point about The Rock. And it's gonna be a hot take in my opinion. Deb, you were talking earlier about WWE and how it's kind of, there's certain things that's got your attention and other things it's been like, you've been casually just catching up on stuff, and you kind of lost interest a little bit. But I remember back the build up to WrestleMania 40, for instance, when The Rock was the final boss and he was actively involved in the story. And then all the way up until after WrestleMania, when after WrestleMania 40, we're waiting for certain things to pan out that were introduced to us, but they never finalized. Like the Cody and Rock thing with The Rock, with whatever he gave back to Cody, and we were all wondering what the hell was it, and it was his watch, the watch that he gave or whatever. That was never finalized, and then you're expecting Rock to be, because he's part of the story, and he wasn't at WrestleMania 41. So I think, in my opinion, and I could see where you would say that, Deb, because I've kind of lost a little bit too on certain things. I'll still watch, but certain things have kind of lost me. And I'm wondering, is it because of The Rock and his lack of involvement in certain things that were introduced that were never panned out, never finalized, and it kind of made us feel like it kind of questioned our intelligence in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And we've had the same conversation about AEW. It's like, when you have something and then it's not followed up on, and then it's not followed up on, and it's not followed up on, the fans' interest starts to wane. Like people start to lose hope that they're ever going to get the payoff of something.
Yes.
Same applies here.
Yeah.
If it's been this long and we all expected him to show up at Mania and then he didn't, and then he goes on Pat McAfee and just says he didn't feel like he was needed.
Right.
But you need the entire storyline revolve around you.
Well, that's very true. But I have a way to fix all of it. I have a way. He just basically comes walking out at SummerSlam with Travis Scott and picks him up over his head and just throws him into the crowd and says,
no. You want to know how I feel about Travis Scott? See my tweets about Goldberg.
Somebody has to turn him into a greasy spot in the ring.
We don't
know.
John, no.
You're what you said earlier to start the show off with, that applies to Travis Scott too, right?
Okay, all right. Yeah. All right. I'm just saying, and believe me, I'm with you both on that. He needs just to go away forever, but he needs some.
You know what would happen if he comes out? Like there would be a massive groan.
Well, there needs to be a lasting impression that like you don't do this anymore, ever, and send him off with a couple of souvenirs.
Take care, brush your hair, bye.
Yeah. Like a nice black eye or busted lip or broken jaw would be a nice reminder that, oh yeah, this didn't work. So Anywho, let's get to the meat of the conversation. TNA Wrestling is putting on their biggest pay-per-view of the year annually. And as much to our delight as fans, their biggest show ever. Tomorrow night, UBS Arena in Long Island. And I'm going to piss off a lot of people with that. I don't care. In Long Island, Elmont, New York, for Slammiversary. And let me just click over here. Because thanks to our spectacular social media team, and it's really only one person, but we don't say that. We make her sound like she's a team, is our good friend Debhausen, who does an amazing job with all of our social media posts and links and everything else. And she even found this for us. Wait.
Well, we're waiting.
I did that already earlier.
But she does a fantastic job. Way better, way better than any of us can ever do or hope to. She is our absolute social media queen. And also, Roman numeral B, she is now an interviewer, which you can catch here on our channel. That she recently just did a sit-down interview with the owner and promoter of Kaiju Pro Wrestling, right? Is that their? And you can see that here on our YouTube channel. It's a very interesting interview that she did, and it came off very good. And good job, Deb. I'm giving your flowers in front of everybody. It was very nice for your first time. I hope it isn't the last time. And I don't care if you say my go long. I don't care. I'd like to hit the post. You know that. But it was a very, very entertaining interview. And everyone, please here, if you're watching us now, please click over and see Deb's interview that she did.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's see. Where do I want to start with this?
Let's turn that off.
I like it on. I want it on.
Yeah, it's active. I like it. It makes us pop.
It also distracts everyone from looking at me. All right, Slammiversary. We're not going to go through the whole card. Let's just hit the highlights. I want to start with, and I'll kick this off with the one match that I am absolutely very interested in, and it is your main event.
Oh yeah,
of course, the three-way dance for the TNA Championship, currently held by NXT's Trick Williams. We have the absolute TNA and world favorite Joe Hendry, and the quickly becoming the People's Champion of their own in Mike Santana.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, thoughts?
My pick is Santana to win this. It's going to be a great match. I have mixed feelings about the TNA NXT partnership, but obviously it's working business wise. So I'm not going to take anything away from that. It's going to be a great match. As much as I would love to see Joe Hendry get the title back, I just think it's Santana's time. And he's been making the media rounds, doing tons of podcasts and interviews. He was on, it was not Sam, right? On Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 this week. Incredible interview. If anyone missed it, go back and check it out. I could listen to Mike Santana just talk forever. Like his interviews, like he's kind of soft spoken, and like there's just an intensity when he speaks. And yeah, it's definitely his time. Like he's winning this.
Yeah. Tony?
Yeah, I agree. It's Mike Santana's time. He's driven by realism. because everything he talks about on these shows and on Busted Open when he's been interviewed are things that's happened to him in real life. And it's what he's driven by. And that's why he's got the people behind him, is because people can honestly relate to what he's been through. And to go from being in a tag team, with Ortiz, and where's Ortiz been? I think he's injured. I don't know, but he's having to get out of that spotlight and grab the spotlight himself. And I think when he becomes a champion, I think that's his stamp on what he's done on his own. Like, hey, I did this. I wanted to be a single star, and now I'm the world champion. And that's going to be a definite stamp on that. So I think that we're going to see and new tomorrow.
Yeah. And I am in agreement. Absolutely, Mike Santana should and could be the TNA champion. And the one thing I've noticed about Santana, especially since they've been hyping Slammiversary, besides all the podcasts and interviews he's done, he shows up on NXT and has been showing up on NXT lately. And he gets just a bigger pop and reaction from NXT fans than TNA fans. Same exact thing. That they're all both brands are very excited to see this guy win. And 6 months ago, I would have said to you, nah, they got to put this strap back on Joe Hendry, right the wrong, whatever. But now, absolutely, and especially in the past few months, Mike Santana is the guy. And they better come up with something really good to make him not the guy or to keep him on the chase. Because if they don't, I think they're going to be dropping the ball. But, all right. Next, one thing I want to get out of the way, and I know I popped and you popped, Deb. I don't know if you saw it, Tony, but for those of us who watch TNA on TNA Plus or on Access TV, got treated to a very, very, very interesting video at the very end of Impact on Thursday night involving this guy.
Yeah.
The phenomenal AJ Styles returns to the house that he arguably built before he built his one in WWE. And I popped huge when that crate opened up and that P1 shirt was in there. Very reminiscent of his very early, his late TNA year that he kind of revised coming back to WWE. But I popped, and I'm so excited to see exactly what is going to happen when AJ shows up tomorrow night.
Yes, I absolutely can't freaking wait. I think as soon as TNA, like before the official partnership was officially announced and like they started doing a little bit of the crossover with NXT, I think most people's immediate thoughts were, oh my God, there's a possibility of AJ Styles going back to TNA. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's finally happening. And I saw some people kind of being like, well, why wouldn't they make it a surprise? They're trying to sell tickets. They're trying to sell pay-per-view buys. It was hinted at, and it's something that everybody wants to see. Why not just announce it? Like it's not that much of a surprise at this point. Right. And they're trying to sell this show. I get it.
Yeah.
And if you think about it for a second and follow me through on this, they all kind of swerved us because AJ right now has been doing backstage things with Dom Mysterio and being in Dom's head had like chased him around. That has been
really funny.
And they're, so it's not like that AJ's been sitting and catering for 6 months and they got nothing for him. He was just on Raw and has just been on Raw recently. I mean, not wrestling per se, but again, he's got these things where he's chasing Dominic around. It is absolutely hysterical. But then here they come. Now they drop this announcement. So again, I'm very excited to see what happens. And how it all plays out, and again, speculate wildly.
Yeah, I agree with Mongrovian on this. We don't need a lights out, lights on. It's not a surprise. Just do his entrance, get the entrance pop.
Yeah. All right.
Tony, your thoughts on AJ Styles?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's one of the mainstays in TNA. Back when they first were a thing. So yes, he did build that house, and I think it's awesome that he's returning. And it kind of puts a little more credibility than they've already been doing it on their own. And now you've got a legend like AJ Styles coming back to kind of help with that, So I think it's an awesome thing. What happens afterwards, who knows? But I'll be glad to see him tomorrow night.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to mention real quick, John, since you mentioned the thing with AJ and Dom, I know I said it on Zoom like the past 2 weeks watching Raw on Mondays. I feel like the best part of Raw right now has been the like comedic backstage segments. Like everything that Dominic Mysterio is doing is comedy gold.
Yes.
There's just like when I watch Raw, I just find myself being most into some of the comedic backstage segments than anything else.
Yes.
And Dominic and the AJ Styles stuff is the perfect example of that. I watched that. I'm like, man, that's freaking hilarious.
I just want that doctor's note that Dom has, because apparently you don't have to do anything with that. Like, you're not allowed to do anything.
Exactly. It's so
I need
funny.
that because I need like 3 weeks off of work, and I need that doctor's note.
When Pierce, now that we're talking about this, I had a thought point on this. Adam Pearce is playing the perfect like principal role, like the principal from Back to the Future. That's what Adam Pearce is doing right now. And just the fact that he said to Dom, like, oh, you were looking rather nimble and spry out there jumping around. And Dom said, it was the adrenaline in my soul.
Yeah.
Come on.
He just needs to call Dom a slacker. That would put the information.
You're a slacker.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect. And it's the right amount of comedy. Like, comedy stuff doesn't always work, but when it does work, when it's done right, it's just perfect. And this is it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Another point about the Judgment Day, and it's been, all this stuff has been leading over into the Judgment Day stuff and what they've been doing backstage with Dom, all that stuff backstage. Every time you think the Judgment Day is being counted out, because they come back with something else. And something else after that, because they've had a few times where we've been on Zoom, we've been saying, oh, this is it for Judgment Day. They're going to be breaking up soon, blah, blah, blah. Nope. They come back with something completely better, and it's just keeping your attention. And Judgment Day is another mainstay on Raw that's got my attention is whatever the Judgment Day does. And I never thought I would say that. After Edge left, especially after Edge left, you didn't know that Judgment Day had this in them, and look at them now. I mean, it's amazing.
They've made it work, and they've made it like really, really good.
Well, and the further both of those points, we sat here and talked at length about, especially Roxanne Perez coming up to the main roster. We have known for quite a while that she is more than capable, more than good enough to be part of the main roster. But we always came back to the same thing. Man, if they don't put her someplace where it kind of matters or something that she fits in, it's going to be a waste. Well,
don't tell Booker that. He'll get all mad.
Well, I really don't care what Booker thinks. When he starts winning on LFG, maybe I'll thinking about
there's that.
but here's Roxanne Perez that has now been brought into the Judgment Day and has absolutely contributed and fit right in and has been clicking right along with all of them, since she came up, and like they got it right. What our fears, we don't have to fear anything anymore. Roxanne Perez is a main roster talent in a cool situation. But speaking of ladies in cool situations.
There you go.
Yep.
The title versus title. Masha Slamovich and NXT's JC Jane for both the Knockouts title and the TNA or the NXT Women's title. I'll start on this one. This has a lot of head scratching and what ifs attached to it because I like both women. I like both women as champions. I don't know what the bigger picture is if one of them is a dual champion. I don't know, and it's really got me in the weeds and going down rabbit holes of what the ramifications could be, almost to the point where I'm like, I don't want I want to see the match, but I don't want to see the end, if that makes any sense, because I can't quite wrap my head around where other things have taken, other matches like this have taken place across different promotions and stuff. You've always had kind of a feeling that, okay, this is going to kind of go this way. I don't have that feeling with this match. I have both pros and cons for both women winning and losing. And I'm just like, I don't effing know. I got to watch it because I have to see how this shakes out.
Right.
Well, I'll make it easy for you. I'm not an NXT viewer, so I'm going with my TNA loyalty, and Masha's absolutely winning. To me, like, since I'm not an NXT viewer and I don't have like the investment in the character of JC Jane, like, to me, she's still like the other girl in that faction. And that's not to take away anything from her. I have nothing against her. I don't have any emotional investment in her because I don't watch NXT. So I have loyalty to TNA. It's Masha all the way.
Okay.
All the way.
All right.
Yeah. I kind of agree to a point, Deb, on the emotional investment in JC Jane, because in my opinion, the spotlight finds Fallon Henley every single time she's out there with that faction. All those women could be in the ring, and Fallon Henley, that is the one that stands out to me. And I think she should have been in that spot, but neither here nor there. I think Masha's gonna. I see someone in the chat saying that they think it's gonna be a non-finish. But I'm gonna go with Masha on this. I think we're gonna see a dual champion with Masha Slamovich.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch, and I'm not gonna make a prediction because I legitimately can't decide which way I want to go. I have emotional. I have an investment in both, and Masha more so than JC at this point, just because I have history with Masha. Before she was Knockouts champion and everything else, Masha was absolutely one of my favorites to see in the Indies as GCW and all that. So, but like I said, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's good to be like, I don't know, I can't pick. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and she's also a friend of the show, so I mean, why not go with Masha?
Exactly.
Right.
Right. We go way
back. Here's one. All right, real quick. I just want to go through a couple of these other matches, just real quick, just to make a comment or two on them. This one here, and the reason why I bring this one up in particular, not because it's necessarily who's involved, besides it's Matt Cardona and his buddy Brian Myers, but who is also part of the system, but Dark State. Yeah, that one. And this is something I brought up. You might have heard it, Deb. I don't know if Tony did or not, but I'll bring it out in front of everybody right now. We are absolutely heading towards an NXT War Games PLE NXT versus TNA. That's going to happen. I'm absolutely convinced at this point that they are going to have a War Games match with a Team NXT and a Team TNA, possibly both men's and women's matches. And this is kind of what this particular match made me start really thinking about that going forward, that they're going to start working towards that. And just for the fact that, Matt Cardona is, well, besides being always ready, he's always entertaining, and how easily he can transition himself no matter where he's working. We have seen him be the absolute just asshole heel in GCW for how long, and now he's in TNA and slowly and surely becoming a babyface before our very eyes. Matt Cardona, more on my Z, a babyface.
The man is brilliant.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And what would a TNA pay-per-view be without? Oh, not that one. Where's the one I'm looking for? Not that one.
God damn it, John.
You give me too many options.
And you blew it.
I absolutely blew it. Where's the tag team match?
So I'll interject my opinion on that match. I have negative emotional investment in Dark State. I do hear people talk about them. I don't see anything about them on social media, so there's nothing for me to really go off of. To me, they're like a worse Retribution. And that's saying
and I could not agree more, Deb. I'm like, somebody snuck this in on a production meeting that,
I swear to God, if the system and Matt Cardona loses to the worst Retribution,
yes.
What? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yes, I absolutely agree. But I found the one I was looking for, and that is this one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
The tag team ladder match for the TNA tag team titles. The Rascals, the Hardys, First Class, and right and them, and my big brother,
yes.
Nick Nemeth.
All right, this is what I'm here for.
Yes.
Let's go.
This match is going to be absolutely crazy just because it's ladders, it's a tag team, and it has the Hardys.
Yeah.
All you need to know. It could be, all the rest of the teams could be folding chairs. It's still going to be a good match. And I'm very, and especially for Nick, coming off being TNA champion, cooled off a little bit, and has now been on this run with his brother as tag champs. I'm really interested to see, can the Hardys win again? They have made allusions that, we're getting to the end of the road and we don't have many more of these in us and blah, blah, blah. The Nemeth brothers are absolute heels. Shocker. Can they do something to retain? And more so that I really have always been a fan of Casey Navarro. But First Class is actually starting to grow on me. Him and
yes.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm such a fan of Casey or not, or that, but I'm a fan
of AJ Francis too. I can't help it. He's funny.
They're growing on me. And the Rascals are the Rascals. They're from the Treehouse. I identify them very much. And so it's one of the matches, it's going to be good. You can't really define a winner. And it probably is going to be one of the matches of the night on a very stacked card to begin with, just for the simple fact that the Hardys may not have too many more of these type of matches in them. So it's going to be special no matter what. But I wanted to mention that match because depending on where they place it, that's going to get something that's going to have the whole crowd up on their feet the whole time.
Yeah. I almost feel like that like should be, the right before the main event. Like, and you could make an argument that could be the main event if it weren't for the championship match being so
or
hot.
Either championship match, yeah, or either championship title match.
Yeah, and we've been watching Casey Navarro for quite some time now. And I am so happy for him that he's, getting this big platform to be in front of more eyes. Nick Nemeth, like, I know that the Nemeth brothers are like heels on the show, but could Nick Nemeth be more of a baby face right now? Honestly, like the way that he is, cheerleading for TNA is just so cool. I love the guy.
Yeah, he needs to wear a green tracksuit as much as been cheering for TNA.
I love him.
Yeah, is that true? Is there a stipulation on this that if the Hardys retire if they don't win the title?
I don't know if it's an official stipulation. I know that they had a promo where they said like, maybe if we lose this, maybe it's time to think about hanging it up. I don't know if that was like an official stipulation now.
But see, that could also mean that it's time for us to go back to WWE.
Right, could be.
So
right, and that's been kind of slightly teased.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We'll see, but it'll definitely be a hell of a match. I mean, especially after just the Hardys being involved in it, and it's this big of a match. I mean, it takes you back to the TLC matches, which I was in person for one of them. That was an amazing match at WrestleMania 17 in Houston. But so I'm looking forward to it. Man, Slammiversary is going to be so good tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be so good.
It's going to be, and maybe more importantly than all the rest, if you needed another reason to tune in tomorrow night, besides all the matches and everything that we just talked about, the pre-show is going to feature one Dave LaGreca and Gia Miller. Dave announced earlier this week that he is doing the pre-show for Slammiversary, so tune in early. That's going to be free on their YouTube channel and on Trailer Plus. So we get to see Dave.
And that same picture right here.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had that one. Somewhere on my wall. I don't want to turn around and look. But, which is really cool. Dave has been, we all know that Dave has really been kind of a champion for TNA for quite a while and has done work with them in the past. And it is always great to see Dave get these positions and spots to be on, because at the very core, besides everything that is the monster that he has built and created, he's a fan just like us. And he just absolutely embraces all the things we love about being fans, and brings that forth when he does appearances and things like this. So again, that's going to be live on YouTube, on TNA's YouTube channel, and also on Trailer Plus, which you can also buy Slammiversary on. For those who haven't, it's available on Trailer Plus. Thank you, Trailer Plus, because now we can go halvesies if anybody wants to. Unlike other streaming services, but we won't go into that right now. No. But it's going to be a great night. And I don't know much else more to say about it other than, and we have said this ad nauseum, but I'll say it one more time. If you people are still sleeping on TNA and not tuning in and seeing what they're doing and what they have done, you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong. And you need to correct that. there's a reason why they're making this, and rightfully so, their biggest show. Slammiversary has always been the biggest show of the year for TNA of all their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But this one is going to be very special.
We make an event every year in our group to watch Slammiversary.
Yes. And this year is really in many ways shaping up to be very special. And in a year so far that we've had across a lot of promotions and companies, very special pay-per-views, this one is for TNA. This is their WrestleMania. This is their moment. And I hope everything goes off exactly as they had planned, and they have exactly the night that they want to make. And one person that doesn't get a lot of name. Now, we know, of course, that Tommy Dreamer is part of the creative, but there's one name that keeps getting mentioned, and I don't think a lot of people understand who it is. Hunter Johnson is also part of the creative team in TNA. And I'll give everyone a pass that doesn't know that name. But when I say who it is, you should. That's Delirious from Ring of Honor. Oh, by the way, who was the head booker of Ring of Honor in the original Ring of Honor? That man is, and hopefully it never happens, how WWE did not snatch him up with what he's able to do and the skill and the ability of booking that he has. That is truly TNA's ace in the hole, having him there. Man is very good at what he does. And and I know he's all office and corporate now, but goddamn, I miss him in the ring because he was always so much fun and so good in the ring. But if you hear that name, Hunter Johnson, that's Delirious. And he's definitely one of the names that you should know, especially with TNA. A lot of what you're seeing is, yes, it is Tommy Dreamer, but a lot of it also is Hunter Johnson.
Okay. Well, I think WWE did do a good job in snatching up a couple of TNA names in Abyss and Jeremy Borash. I think they have done an amazing job with WWE in their respective roles. So yeah, I mean those two names too. But yeah, John, I agree with you. TNA, like I said, they've been doing big things this year. When they rebranded back to TNA, they were meaning business. I think they knew that all this is coming up, and even with tomorrow's anniversary, I feel like they were hoping that it would make this much of a mark, and I think that they are doing a great job. So yeah.
Very excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Since we went way over, why don't we wrap this bitch up?
Surely,
Tony. I know you're still kind of new to all this and getting your feet wet and all that, but please let the folks know where and how they can get a hold of you.
At least I can do this. You can find me at Tony Justice, AJFA, and you haven't heard this in a while. If you're new here, this is what we do. If you're a Metallica fan, like I know Deb and John are, you know what that means. Ooh,
yeah.
My tag team partner. Where can they get a hold of you, Deb?
At That's So Debonair on all of my socials. Tomorrow, before Slammiversary, I will be going to a local indie show. The LVAC is putting on a benefit for Jeff Cannonball. So I'm going to go to that show and go see Big Dan.
Big Dan champion.
Big Dan. I'm going to go see him wrestle. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to go see that show, and then I will race home to watch Slammiversary with y'all.
Mm-hmm. And again, Deb is our social media guru. If you connect with us on Blue Sky, Deb has been behind us on Blue Sky, and she holds things down for us over there.
I try.
We muddle up Twitter and Instagram and everything else enough on our own, but we leave Deb to the Blue Sky. And Click the link. Click.
Yes. That too. Thank you.
That too. That's me. I am, of course, at Twisted Metal Fab on the X and the Instagram, and keep up with the exploits of the most dangerous weapon in all of professional wrestling. Of course, I am talking about the AK9K, the Ass Kicker 9000, and you can keep up with his exploits with. Could there be new video surfacing soon of AK9K in action with one American kaiju, Lindsay Snow, her new constant companion? When you're out at the show, seeing whoever, whatever, whenever, let us know. Earlier, before the show, was at Bell to Bell, my local all-women's promotion here at the Monster Factory, the world-famous Monster Factory here in Paulsboro. Put on yet another great show. No, let us know who's out there, who you're liking, who you want to see, who you think is the next big thing, so to speak, or who is on the rise. And also, stay tuned to our socials, because we're going to have some new interviews coming from Nation's Corner on location. So, for myself, for my tag team partner, Deb, and this other guy, Tony, we're going to see you all next week, and enjoy the shows.